So today is September 27th, 2019, and I think I'm going to start a series of short videos called Messages for My Daughter, or something along those lines. And basically, I just want to share a little bit of my life and my perspective, and I hope to be able to post this on YouTube so that it's like forever in the atmosphere, if you will. And my daughter, who's only going to be 3 in December, will always have these videos to turn back to no matter where she is in her life. So I guess the first topic we could talk about is self-worth. I want to start with self-worth because it is so important. I feel that if a person truly understands the value of their life and what they are capable of achieving, they are unstoppable. I grew up in a very blessed environment in that I had a mom who was an educator. I had a dad who, though he did struggle with addiction and with other demons, he always instilled in me that I could do anything I put my mind to. And you know, it's kind of like Pavlov's dog. If you keep doing something and reinforcing it, the outcome's going to be the same every time. Maybe that's not the best analogy, but what I'm trying to say is that when you hear something over and over and over again, you're going to begin to believe it. And for whatever reason, whether it was because my mom, my dad, myself, I just realized one day that if I just put my mind to it, it can get done. So we have to start by valuing our worth. We have to know that we have value. We can contribute. And of course, discovering all of this takes time, because I'd be lying if I said everything was smooth sailing. I was bullied in elementary school for being a bigger girl. I was bullied in junior high. I really didn't even have very many friends in high school. In fact, I ate lunch in my mom's classroom by myself with my mom. On occasion, a friend or two would join me. But I wasn't part of big social circles. I wasn't one of the popular kids. I was in band. I was a band geek. I was in extracurricular activities. I wasn't really invited to parties, sleepovers, nothing like that growing up. In fact, I only have maybe 1 or 2 people from that period of my life that I can consider a friend. So I say that to show that self-worth really does have to come from you. Don't expect anyone outside of your inner circle, outside of your parents, outside of your immediate relatives to boast about you. That's just not going to happen. We live in a world where people are self-centered. We live in a world where people are narcissistic. And so you have to, you shouldn't expect others to favor you. You shouldn't expect others to flatter you. It has to come from you and you alone. Of course, with the support of family and maybe some close friends. So self-worth. I just kind of have this attitude about certain things in my life that I'm a star and no one can dim that star. I know my value. I know what I'm capable of. I know how to say no. That was a huge lesson that I learned in life, how to say no. You have to remember that along with your self-value comes a lot of self-care, because we can begin to devalue ourselves. We can begin to diminish what we can provide, what we're capable of doing if we're not taking care of ourselves. So we can only be our best self and be assertive and confident in that if we are taking measures to love ourselves. when you need more outlets for being creative, or more outlets for meeting new people, going places. So you have to take care of yourself to maintain, your confidence and your self-worth in a way. But just know that you are valuable. You're incredibly valuable. You're incredibly loved. And no matter how difficult things get, no matter how at the end of the rope you think you're not. Because I know you are capable of so much. And as long as you just remember that, as long as you hold on to that, you can fight through anything. There is always light at the end of a dark tunnel. Always. Sometimes it's not easy to see, but it's there. Sometimes you have to dig and claw your way there, but you will reach it if you can commit to doing that. So I just hope that no matter what life brings your way, that you are assertive, that you stand with conviction in knowing that you are who you are, and you're capable of great things. You were made by a mighty creator who loves you, who values you more than anything. You are beyond precious. And just remember that you can do great things, positive things for yourself and for others. You just have to hold on to that. So, I wasn't always the best at getting great grades in college. I did pretty good in school. I was an AB student. And then in college, I was more of like an A student. But I also want to tell you that grades don't define you at all. You will never be defined by the score you get on a test. You will never be defined by the score you get on a report card. It's all about evaluating how you are applying yourself. It's all about evaluating, am I actually putting my best foot forward, or am I selling myself short? So every experience is a learning experience. So don't let, now with that being said, I do expect and I do hope that you achieve academically, because there's so much to be gained in academic achievement. It shows discipline, it shows respect, not for your teacher necessarily, but for yourself. You respect yourself enough to get the most out of your education. You refuse to be ignorant. And if you can refuse to be ignorant, if you put your foot down and say, no, I will not stand for that, then you will soak up as much information as you possibly can. We're always learning every single day, and I encourage you to learn. Again, it's just building up your confidence. Think about it. Someone who perhaps is not as well educated may be intimidated, may be afraid, because for whatever reason they don't have the knowledge, the resources as someone else. But that's not to say that just because you're educated, you get to boast and walk around like you're better than anybody, because that's not what that's about at all. It's just about kind of building up your arsenal, so that way when you're feeling low, or when you're feeling like maybe something's not going your way, you remember, just breathe, take a moment. You know what? I can do this. I'm capable. I'm smart. I have the discipline to do whatever needs to get done. I respect myself and I love myself enough to know that I can do more. Don't ever sell yourself short. So that's just a little 10-minute blurb about, a roundabout way of self-worth. And I'm sure there's a lot more I could add, but I hope that's a good, jumping point, I guess is the word, a good start. So yeah, expect more videos to come.